This paddle about to get took. And so that last image that I just showed was PG. If I would have showed you the first, second, and third takes, you would have caught that maybe this did record and you saw a bug jump. But how strict is something in the dialect of it being inappropriate? When I was saying against a sign with outside and a light on me, here's the sarcastic thing first. Outside is how much room? All the room is outside because this plant's made of land. So what if the only things that depended on you seeing the backdrop from the forefront of my face was the depth of a certain amount of photons bouncing off them? What's the given ratio at any point in time between patty cake and hide and go seek? Were you able to catch that? No, because only a certain amount of photons bounced off critical areas. What defines a critical area on the surface of your face versus the wall behind you? If you're trying to differentiate the two, what's the best quality of a certain amount of light particles bouncing off either one for it to be the maximum depth of clarity? That's a discretion that why there's always two parts to any argument. And so how much space is there outside is so obvious versus how controversial something is in being PG or you saying something. Like having things that reoccur. And so what that means is in a reoccurring thing is then its offspring will get that same thing that was adjuvant. And so when that occurs, it's basically called lactating. So it is just the way things are presented. If you were to say the coolest kid in the world is now going to be on water for the first time in a boat, and it cuts to the camera, and they're like, oh yeah, and it's a 3-year-old. And then for the first time they see that their mom's gone and they're on a boat alone, and it's just like a giant crib. And so then that's when authorities would get involved, because technically that's child abuse. So that could go one way, or if the kid gets excited and you have good production, then it can be a Hollywood movie and you won't get charged any money and you can make it. But it all depends on how the news spins it, because that's what the people in the public eye either see something on the internet or the TV. And so that's because how like Elvis Presley's daughter and King Von, a rapper, I didn't even know that they were real people unless they were associated with the entertainment industry, which is all off producing, that they were dead. So when they died, I found out that they were real people who were living. I didn't know Elvis had any kids. She just died. Charlotte hat. Well, the quicker I was able to get down here, the faster I can plummet this on top of the wet solution that was hot and now is going through for it to have a maximum impact. It's going to take nothing but 4 short change to do something drastic. No, this eye level versus. So I just noticed the last person who gave me a soda in a glass bottle was at their apartment, and he cracked the bottle on the wall because the wall had a bottle opener, and you can't show blood on YouTube if it's on a video game. The color has to be turned from red to a different color. But on my face in real life, is this going to get a adult needed age restriction for 18 or older to see what happens if you pick a scab? Escape. So that guy died who did that with the soda bottle on the wall when he cracked it, because the wall had a cracker of like where you put a bottle up to this metal wedge and you squeeze up and it tears off the metal. Like I tore off the skin on my brow. But yeah, he got put down underground. So then I met another African American female in Cedarburg in a basement where there was a soda machine, and she's like, I don't drink soda. I'm like, I'm not drinking soda anymore either. And are those two events connected? Quite frankly, I think they must be. Because I have not been in a guy's house who offered me soda in a bottle since tonight, and when I did that, my computer shut off, and it's been not able to really upload anything because it's lagging so slow. So clicking the internet and everything, is a chore. Clicking the internet is a chore. The other example, Exhibit B, is another person that got put under who was interacting with me was the last person to physically brush my bangs aside. That was a female. Not black, but a different black female told me it's crazy how people eat meat, and since then I've been a vegetarian, and I don't think I'll ever eat meat again voluntarily. Unfortunately, that stands for eggs as well. But as far as milk's clean, who knows if it is something inside of them that would get passed on to their offspring. That's what milk yeast would have out a gland for. You're saying, whenever you're in the public property of inside a building, major hashtag precursor, this might be misinformation. Because I cannot speak for everyone except for if you are in a public building and something goes wrong, the game Clue would obviously come to mind. But then after that, you cannot be charged if it's nothing to do with you standing in the room, no matter which room that is, until that public place is not open anymore. And that should be night and day, because they made a song off that called Closing Time. Probably by Bon Jovi. That being said, the amount of clarification between good producing is entirely dependent whether you're going to end up giving royalties to anything playing in the background, whether it be an image or a sound. This, on the other hand, is entirely compromised because it has already been done once. With verbally, this isn't sound. Things get misconstrued. The screen of my computer just shut off after what I just got done saying, and so if that happened for no reason other than with what I just said, it would be a coincidence that is probably one in like at least a person's lifetime. At least something like that weird screen turning off after recording what I just said would occur. Maybe a few times in a person's life, because you would have to look at the ratio as there's so many people, and that's probably happened to quite a few of them. Or something equivalent to a computer, like a book shutting. That would be even more scary if like you said something on a video camera, or like, something that was getting projected to a crowd where they could hear you, like a hole in the wall. And they'll fucking through the hole in the wall, they would equal to a camera say something, and then the book would close behind them instead of a computer screen. Wouldn't that be more scary? How many people on this earth has that happened to? Probably more than one. Well, why would a book close? An earthquake? The wind? Nope. By someone pulling a string on it? Probably a few times. But without someone pulling a string on it, what would that mean? I'm much glad that my computer shut off, other than the lid of it closing, because then that would be more like a book closing after something bad happened. Like you talking about something bad on the internet about someone. Now I'm in a hate group because I say a lady got taken off of YouTube.